All right, what up, internet? How y'all doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's time for another rundown. B Matt, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm just chill, sort of. I'm a little rustled though, but we'll get into that in a minute.
You're
Don't want to
chill
don't want to
because you're actually cold.
mildly rustled. It is cold.
It is cold.
AF.
It is cold.
What happened to fall, bro? We got like
Fall
2
was
weeks of fall, and that was it.
yesterday morning because it was 70. I think it was 73 degrees in my house.
I mean, we get from 90 to 30 in like 3 weeks. How
Yeah,
does this happen?
it happens.
It's not fair.
And it was 90 maybe 2 weeks ago. Pissed
Two or
off
three
about
weeks
it.
ago, yeah.
At least it's a pretty day. At least it is in my house.
Yeah, sun's out.
Out here in beautiful Montgomery. I've heard no gunfire this morning. Hey, so we're going to talk a little bit about Joey since you and I haven't actually debriefed about that yet. And we'll talk about Dr. Cord, what you think he can accomplish as the backup. He's also going to be the signal guy. He's going to continue holding on to that job.
Yeah.
And if there'll be more booby cat. Team fallout from Joey leaving, if there's going to be any, fractious behavior, et cetera, et cetera. And then we got a little basketball on tap against the hated Eckerd drugstores. I don't know what they're called. Eckerd. Where do you think Eckerd's at?
I have no idea. I know nothing about them at all.
You've got to know.
Nothing.
I need
No
you to
scouting.
know.
I have no scouting report at all on Eckerd. I'm sorry.
This is outrage.
Pearl didn't seem too impressed with them, to be honest with you, yesterday when speaking about them.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's what he said about Barry, too, and they were good,
He
right?
said they were a little undersized.
All right. And you said you have some shout-outs, right?
Yeah, I got shout-outs, bro. Bunker's been funny lately.
I do want to give
People
up.
don't get too rustled about it.
We've got some folks on here already. Patrick and Hornatius and BP Rockman and Phil Petaway, who I think is probably a voluminous bunker poster, but I don't know what your handle is. So you're going to have to continue to live in anonymity on this forum, bro. All right, let's kick this bad boy off.
Do it.
I want to thank you guys for being part of the show. We have another poster on here. Her name's Yvonne. We're gonna say Yvonne Meter.
She's a hottie, I've heard. She's like
you mean like a
she's one of
former
those neighborhood hotties you always see walking around. You're like, man, that girl's hot.
Yeah.
Whew.
I got to be careful on that because my wife might get a little triggered.
Yeah.
I got to be careful. I do like Yvonne. She's playful. She's playful and she's in the game. You know what I mean?
I heard her husband's a real jerk.
Nah, he can be a dick, and he also seems clumsy. He falls down sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen him walking around the neighborhood. He just falls flat on his face and then looks around and he gets up and runs away like nothing happened.
You're like Chevy Chase on a SNL back in the day, like falling down all the time. All right, here we go. Hi-yo! Hello again, and welcome to the AuburnSports.com rundown presented by Voodoo Wing Company. This show, this podcast, this one right here is your favorite podcast for all things Auburn. This is going to be, or currently is, episode number 417 of this fine program.
3 more to go, JG.
Until 420. Today is November 1st in the year of 2019, and for those of you in lower Alabama, or eastern Alabama, as Brian is, it's quite chilly this morning. I think I saw frost, and I don't mean Scott. And we are currently 1 day away from Auburn's encounter with the hated Rebels of Old Mississippi. That game will be contested inside Jordan-Hare. Finally, another game inside Jordan-Hare. 6 o'clock God's time on the ESPN. My name is Jay Tate. I am publisher of AuburnSports.com, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Brian Matthews, capital B, capital M, our East Team reporter, and a man who everyone knows is a doer of many things. B. Matt, word.
Word. I'm doing well. I'm not enjoying the really cold weather, but okay, whatever. It's better than 90. I'd also say I'm a little rustled, but not too much. Just a itty bit rustled.
Yeah, so you're a little bit rustled about some stuff that's been going on the message board. Is that fair?
And Twitter. I'm rustled over the rustled. Like even talk radio, I'd say that too. Too many people are too rustled right now
about Auburn and what's
Yes.
going to happen and what's happened and whatnot.
Yes.
And so, what do you think is a reasonable position for those folks to have?
I mean, right now Auburn's 6-2. They've lost against 2 top 10 teams on the road. They should be pretty excited about what Auburn can do down the stretch and hopeful. It's not time to get wrestled.
Do you think I should have a shot at that?
It might be time for that.
I don't know, man.
I've got mine, sweet tea, bro.
Quentin on the chat here says it's whiskey weather. Well, guess what,
It
buddy?
really is. Yep.
You talked me into it.
Well, that was really tough. You really had to get into there.
Well, I mean, I want to, I am beholden, I feel, but to our viewers, our customers, and, far be it from me to disappoint you guys. Quentin, this is to you, brother. Appreciate the suggestion and for giving me a reason to have a little drink this morning. I happen to have Old Bardstown Bottled and Bond in front of me. I would prefer Old Forester because I've been drinking that lately and it's delicious, but, you do what you got to do. And I want to let you guys know, if you are a bourbon connoisseur, or you at least kind of are, if you go into the ABC stores, Old Bardstown, which they are now carrying in the ABC stores, is a Willet product. So if you like drinking Willet out of the little pot stills that costs like $60, try this and tell me what you think about it, because it tastes a lot like Willet, if you know what I mean. I know B-Mat's probably not.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
what
sir.
are you going to do in 3 more podcasts from now when you're ready to, relax a little bit?
Well, if you the California representative who resigned yesterday, Katie Hill, she was pictured with a bong and some murky brown water in it. I don't know what that murky brown water could have been, but maybe we should ask her to be on the show, and maybe she can talk about that a little bit. I
don't know what kind of show you're planning to do, KG, but you bring her and another girl on the show, and woo, might get a little crazy.
That stuff seems hotter in the morning. Bud on the chat says you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. That's excellent advice, sir.
It is Friday.
Chris asks, did you sign up for the ABC limited release sweepstakes? I did sign up, and I also have my wife sign up just to double our chances, but I won't get it. I know this. And I just, look, man, I'm happy with the bourbon that I can get my hands on. Anyway, are we going to dive a little bit more into this, you're rustled about the rustlage? Because I feel like it deserves more exploration, I think. Before we get there, though, I do want to let everybody know, as you can see on the screen, if you're watching this on YouTube, this show and all of our podcasts are presented by Voodoo Wing Company, a great place to eat there in Auburn and now in Tuscaloosa, soon to be in Mobile, and they have 2 locations in Las Vegas. I'm telling you, B-Matt and I eat there every Tuesday with our friends Nate King and Jeffrey Lee, and we are never disappointed. The food is piping hot every time. We love the various flavors they have. Most of them that they make, themselves. It's their own flavors. And you can, of course, get those Sidewinder fries that B-Matt is just infatuated with. Their tots are 100% every time. You can get the fried pickles that Nate loves so much. They have slaw. And then you can finish it off with the nanner pudding that B-Matt is just head over heels for. You love some nanner pudding now.
Yeah, that makes me think I need to make me a pot here soon.
Hey, now.
Sort of thinking about nanner pudding.
And Jay Lee got me a little key lime last time. I haven't had it lately, but it was delicious as usual. So anyway, Voodoo Wing Company, you can check them out on the website at voodoowingco.com. You can also check them out in person, which is what I would suggest. If you are in Lee County, Alabama, or Tuscaloosa, in Auburn, you can find them on College Street, about 0.3 of a mile north of the interstate. If you're going into town, it's on the right there, right next to a paint store and the Dunkin' Donuts. But I don't really worry about Dunkin' Donuts because I get everything I need at Voodoo. And it's slightly north of where the Supper Club once stood, where Jeffrey Lee was once deposited in a trash can, and he damn well deserved it. Please, Voodoo Wing Company's been really, really good to us, and all I ask is that you give them a chance to earn your business. I am almost positive you're going to love it, and you're going to go back the way that Brian and I do. All right, moving on to the rustlage, B-Matt. Auburn at 6-2, and there are certain people out there, a lot of them are on the bunker, who think calamity has occurred already, and that more calamity is on the way, and this bothers you. Tell me why.
I would say it's more the Joey Gatewood thing. I just don't understand why people are so rustled about this, right? I understand why you'd be mildly upset about it or disappointed.
Mildly.
But Joey Gatewood was going to transfer at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing he would have done if he was at Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, wherever. You get 2 quarterbacks, they compete for the job. One wins, one loses. The loser is going to transfer if he thinks he's good enough to be a starter at a Power 5 school. And I think Joey does believe that. So this is just part of the process. This is college football in 2019. So to me, the only reason it matters that he transferred now is A, if he goes to another Power 5 school eventually and becomes as good as or better than Bo Nix becomes,
Yeah.
then I think it's a big deal. Or B, Bo Nix gets injured in the next 4 games and Auburn is left without a real true backup. Then it would really matter. So, I can understand a little rustling, but not to the extent it was. People are just losing their mind over this and it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it just puts Auburn, like you mentioned, in a precarious position insofar as if Bo gets hurt, it's like, oh boy, it's going to be Dr. Cord. And I don't know as though Auburn's ready for Cord Sandberg. I don't know if Cord Sandberg's ready for Auburn either.
Well, he's a team dad. And saying that he's the number 2 quarterback, but he's still going to call him plays and do the same thing on the sidelines is just word salad. He's obviously not going to be the backup quarterback. If something happens to Bo, they're going to bring in Booby or somebody and run Wildcat.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so too. I guess, okay, so let's just kind of reset this. So Joey announced plans to transfer 2 days ago. He had decided earlier in the week. I think he was frustrated by the fact that he got 1 snap against LSU. He got 0 snaps. Right. I mean, you and I are on the same page here, totally. I mean,
yes.
0 snaps in the Florida game, which is where he's from, and then 1 snap in the LSU game, and Bo was flatline, completely flatline at Florida. You could maybe make the argument that he was not quite flatline at LSU because he did pick it up there at the end, but he was not playing well. And if he's going to play this poorly, why doesn't Joey get a shot?
Right. I mean, Gus made it perfectly clear that there was no way Joey was playing in a game that was still in balance by not giving him a chance when Bo was struggling so much against Florida and against LSU. So I think in Joey's mind, he probably felt a little disrespected, probably felt that there was no hope, and he was just ready to move on. Now, the best thing for him would have been to stick it out, right? Handle the adversity, work on your game for 4 weeks, and then, goodbye. That would probably be the best thing for Auburn, best thing for him. But he made this decision. He's moving on. I just, I'm not going to sit here and call the kid a quitter like some people on the bunker want to do. I'm not going to go to that extreme. He's doing what he thinks is best right now. Good luck to him.
Some people think this is actually just kind of a political thing. On the bunker, they like to call it daddy ball. Torque has just mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah, that's a bunch of bull.
I mean, I think that happens sometimes, but I don't think that's the case here. Wait, one of the big problems with Gus is that he's not political enough. Like, he doesn't listen to other people. So why would he all of a sudden care that Bo Nix's dad wants him to play? Like, he's never given a shit about that. Like,
that doesn't make ridiculous. I think in some ways Gus sets himself up for this, right?
Fair.
Because he made this competition out to be really, really close. Joey Gatewood's a great quarterback, blah, 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 blah.
That's true.
I mean, we heard that over and over again, right?
Good point.
So if that was the truth, which I don't think it was necessarily, why isn't Joey, jumping in there when Bo's struggling? Well, I think from a football standpoint, in reality, I don't think Gus thought Joey was capable of running the offense, close to as good as Bo was. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe he'll be proven wrong in the coming years. I don't know that. We're not at practice. I can't really make a great evaluation on that. I can't give you this is what's going to happen with Joey. I don't know. I hope he goes and has success, but I just don't know.
I don't think he's a quitter. I probably would have suggested that he do exactly what he did. And the benefit to him at this point is he gets time to talk. Now he's in the portal, which gives him and other schools permission to talk to him about leaving, which he wouldn't have had before. So if he had committed to going the season with Auburn and they would have gotten to their bowl game, whatever bowl game it is, I'm not going to give a smart ass answer there. He would have been able to start that process until, December 30th or January 3rd or whatever. And it makes it really fast.
I got to let the dog out. I'll be right back.
You're fine. And so in that case, Joey's got to he's got to court these schools. These schools have to court him. He's got to make a decision really quickly. He doesn't want to do that. So now he's going to have all of November and December to kind of see who is interested and maybe visit a few and talk to them and figure out the right fit for him. I really want Joey to do well. Joey's a really, really cool kid. And I know I say that fairly often. I think Auburn signs cool kids in general.
Yeah.
But he's really cool. He's playful and funny, and he's in a good mood, and yes. I just want the best for him. So, and I feel like Gus feels the same way. He's just absolutely certain that Bo's going to be a pimp, like a stud in the future, and he's going to allocate every single snap he can get to Bo right now to hasten his development. That's how I see it. So I don't really fault Gus for that, but Brian and I are avowed Joey supporters, and when Bo Nix was flatline at Florida, Joey's got to go in there. And it's for the reasons you suggested, B-Matt. I kept trying to do it logically, like I just think Joey's better. But you made the point that it was such a close competition. Why is it not close now?
Right.
And that's probably what pissed Joey off.
Even if you don't believe, even if you think Bo is a much better quarterback than Joey, if you're the coach, sometimes when the lights come on, especially at the quarterback position, that number 2 comes in there, suddenly he's a lot better than you thought he was. Right? How many times have we seen the backup quarterback come in and everything changes for that team for whatever reason?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying it all the time, but it can happen sometimes. So that's why I don't understand why not give him a shot. But you know, Gus is assuming Gus is making the choice he thinks is best for the team.
Well, he wants to win. I mean, he wants to win the football games. I mean, believe me. I've told you guys this, and we're not talking about money at this point, but coaching football is way more important to him than money. And he wants to coach football at the highest level. So he does not want to get fired. He does not want to get fired. And he thinks that playing Bo Nix is his best chance. He thinks that, obviously, Bo's really good in practice. He makes these throws in practice. And he gets out there in pressure situations, and he misses too many of them. And Gus just keeps thinking, well, he's going to click for him. I think it will click for him someday. Maybe it's going to be this week. I don't know. He's going to be at home the rest of the way. He's been better at home.
Much better.
So, I mean, it's reasonable to think that this is going to work out, but losing Joey really stinks. All right, so now we've got Cord Sandberg, who is who's been anointed the team dad by the head coach. I don't know if that's what you want on the resume or not.
Yeah.
He's a lefty. He's 24 years old. He's married. I think he has 4 kids. I'm just kidding. He used to play baseball in the Phillies organization. They are now paying for him to go to school. That's part of their agreement when he signed, and when he signed with the Phillies, I should say, years ago. And he's a guy that was definitely coveted in high school, B-Matt, but then he went the baseball route and kind of disappeared a little bit off the scene. If something happens to Bo, and I know you and I both agree that something else would happen, but if Cord Sandberg was pressed into action, do you think he could get it done, sort of?
Well, maybe I've been a little too hard on Cord. First of all, I think he does, like, he's a hard worker. He's a team player, and I think he accepts his role fully, and I think eventually he'll probably be a coach of some sort. And what we have heard about Cord is he's a really good running with the ball. Like, he's really athletic, can do the zone read. So he might be able to help Auburn out in those areas. I just don't know that he has the passing ability at this point, the arm strength to really fully run what Gus would want to do on offense.
Yeah, well, Gus keeps saying he can run the football. And, I mean, I don't – maybe he can. I've never seen Cord run the football, really. Not really. And I found it odd that on Tiger Talk last night, so Cord is the guy that does the signals, you know, he's doing this and whatever. And Gus said he's going to continue doing that, which I think is problematic because if he has to actually play, who's going to signal? I mean, Gus says Will Appleton will do it, but, I mean, Will hadn't been doing it all year.
Yeah, that to me is all I needed to know about, you know, the situation at quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being unfair there, but that just tells me that it's Bo or Booby or bust, so to speak.
Quentin on the chat says Cord's been getting those AARP checks. You better report that revenue, bro. Oh, man. 6797 Amy says Cord looks tiny. I don't really think he's tiny. I mean, he's not fat or anything, but he seems like a regular-sized dude. I don't know. Bo seems smaller to me anyway.
Yes, I would say so, yes.
And this is definitely going to change how they call plays. Gus acknowledged that on Tiger Talk last night and said, yeah, we're going to have to look into that a little bit. So they're going to have to protect Bo now.
Yeah, I think this does hurt them in that category. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're already struggling to run, and I thought one of their solutions to that was to run Bo more or put in Joey. Obviously, they're not putting in Joey, and you can't run Bo more because you don't have a clear backup. So that really puts them in a tougher situation with the running game and this, you know, fascination or obsession with being a run play action team or run play action team.
We like to run downhill and take shots down the field.
Yeah,
I mean
that's great if you can run.
Amy says she wanted to kind of redirect and say he's a little short.
Okay.
Yeah, Cord's not particularly tall. I don't know what he's listed at. Maybe 6 feet or 6'1", maybe. I don't know. I just know he's a lefty. And he looks his age. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look
Yeah.
particularly young or anything. I thought Jason Standridge, I don't know if you guys remember that name, some of you olds. He was a baseball player from, I think, Hewitt Trussville, right?
Somewhere in that area.
He was
I
a
think so.
terrific high school quarterback, committed to Auburn, signed with Auburn, ended up going the baseball route with the Rays. I thought he was going to come back around the time that Jason Campbell was blossoming, and I thought this kid would be really good right now because this is when Jason sucked. Do you remember? It took Jason like at least 2 years to get good. And I thought Jason Standridge would come back, and maybe this is what would have happened if Jason Standridge would have come back. He'd have been Cord, signaling in plays. I don't know. There has been some chatter. Amy says he's listed at 5'9". Do you think Cord is 5'9"?
Really?
I'll trust you on
that. I
that.
don't see that, but maybe I just, he's team dad, so maybe I see him like,
Yes.
a big, tall dad. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I don't know.
You kind of like the team dad for us at auburnsports.com because Jeffrey and I definitely need moderation, and then Nate's like 12 years old.
That's true.
You definitely, you're the voice of reason when
I'll
Jeffrey
make sure
and I
to
get
bring
together.
the snacks and the, the little drinks and the things to our next bunker, tailgate or whatever.
You are very thoughtful. I remember when we were having that New Year's Eve party, and we got a little bit lit. All of us did. The whole bunker did. And you were like really, you were being very thoughtful, looking out for everybody, making sure everybody was good, making sure everybody stay hydrated.
I will hold the back of your head over the toilet if that's what it takes.
That's nice.
Yep, I'm there for you.
You were looking after our friend Lauren. Both of us were, making sure Lauren was celebrating appropriately.
Yes.
And she did, thank goodness. And, of course, all of our other beat writers. You don't have to worry about Tom or Brandon or anybody like that doing crazy stuff.
We don't have too many wild ones at the moment.
Just me and Jeffrey. We're a threat to get in trouble, but other than that. Scorpio says he's actually 6'3", 215. I don't know. I think this is like some kind of a meme that I'm missing, so I'm just going to stop talking about it now. All right, I do want to address the fact, and we mentioned earlier, Joey is a very popular player. He's a really nice person. He's a joyous person. He's funny, and he's just the kind of guy you want to hang out with. So, therefore, he's a very popular dude on the team, and the locker room is not stoked about him leaving. And I don't necessarily think it's any anger toward Bo, because Bo's out there playing his ass off, and is he coming up short in some games? Oh, absolutely, but I don't think it's because he's being blasé about it. I think he's just not able to play his best football in the pressure situations because a lot of kids his age are redshirting right now, or they're the second or third team dude. Do you think there's going to be any long-term or medium-term fallout, B-Matt, from the fact that Joey's leaving? I mean, he's just a popular dude, and it's going to hurt the locker room.
I don't. I think Joey's a popular dude because he's just an all-around nice guy, but I don't think he's a really dynamic guy that stirs up folks or makes people want to take sides or anything. I never got the feeling that this team was divided on the quarterback situation with Bo and Joey. I think for the most part they supported both of them, and I just think that's because both Bo and Joey are just good people, right? So I don't see this as a dividing force in the team at all. I think his teammates are going to support him and support Bo, and they're going to try to finish this thing in a positive way.
That's what you got to do. It's the way you got to look at it. Man, I covered Auburn in '98 when things were really, really falling apart. When that team was bad and there was serious divisions. I don't feel that at all. It's still a good ball club, man. I mean, they've lost these games and they weren't necessarily fluky, in my opinion. But look, they're at home the rest of the way. They still got a good ball club. And if Bo Nix
could win the next 4 games. I'm not saying they're going to, but they could. It could happen. Yep. It's not out of the question. They were 3 points away from being what is now the number 1 team in the country on the road.
Here he goes.
Right?
Here he goes.
I mean, they had, 4 turnovers at Florida, and they lost by, and they had a chance to kick a field goal and be down by a point going in the fourth quarter. So, let's not make any assumptions about what's going to happen. We don't know. I mean, Auburn could lose to Ole Miss Saturday. That's also an option. They lost to Tennessee last year, and they had no business doing that. So I think everything is on the table for this team these last, 4 games.
Everything's on the table. We control our destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. They'll just have to worry about Ole Miss coming up. Ole Miss can be a little bit of a challenge. The run defense has gone from like laughable to pretty good. in 1
Yep.
year.
I think they're fourth in the SEC, something like that. I know I wrote it. I can't remember the exact number I used. And they just match up, I think, fairly well with Auburn. The run defense is pretty good. They've had 2 weeks to get ready. Auburn's coming up a mentally and physically tough game at LSU. Auburn's got to deal with this 2-quarterback system, assuming Plumlee's healthy enough to play. A running quarterback and a passing quarterback, which, what a crazy idea, playing 2 quarterbacks, right? They've got a pretty good running game, decent offensive line. So, yeah, if Auburn doesn't show up, they can get beat.
I agree. If they don't show up, they can get beat. If they do show up and they put their heads in it, they're going to be fine. And they get on to the Georgia game, and then we start getting real answers.
Yeah.
About what's going on. And the bunker's going to be a little bit of a problem. I mean, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And I love the bunker. I hung out with a bunch of bunkerites just recently, like 2 days ago. And I love you guys. You guys know that. I had to post like a statement, like a State of the Union this morning to let everybody know that, these next 4 games are important. And if they win them all, we're going to be stoked. And if they lose some of them, there's going to be some rocky times. And people are going to get pissed off. And people are allowed to be pissed off. Okay?
Yeah, they are.
I know
this is a championship defense, okay? Now I'm swinging over to the doom and gloomers. Gus is being paid $7 million a year because he's supposed to be one of the best offensive minds in college football. And every time Auburn gets in these big games, it's his offense that stinks it up. So people deserve to be mad about that. But Auburn hasn't played all of its big games yet this year, so we don't know what's going to happen in these last 2 games. Now, maybe it'll be the same thing that happened against Florida and LSU, or maybe it won't.
Do you think that okay, so he's being paid like $7 million a year, and his offense has really not been very good in the big games, Brian? Do you feel like this? It's one of the worst contracts in the history of college football. Is that the way you see it?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the contract hurts Gus in a lot of ways as far as his popularity or unpopularity, and just the way it went down with him getting it right after he beats Georgia and Alabama, with no AD, with a new president who is a total buffoon, let's be honest, right? And then immediately following that, he goes out and gets whipped in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
And it's just been like that, since then. It's just really, really, I guess it saved his butt last year because he's still the coach, so it did its job. But it's made him very, very unpopular among a lot of Auburn fans.
I feel like you're a little rustled, Matt.
No. I'm just sort of trying to say it like it is, right? I mean, this is the state of Auburn right now. It's like on this edge, on this razor edge, where this thing about a backup quarterback transferring a month before the season ends sends them into a crazy and enraged, for days. It's gone on, over this little, backup quarterback transferring.
Yeah.
That's just how Auburn fan base is right now. They're just so tense. Any little thing can set them off.
They're on the edge.
Yep.
It's been like this for a while now, folks.
It has. It has, and I can understand it to a point. I can absolutely understand it.
Hell yeah.
Right. I mean, this is not the way it should be going for Auburn right now. You have a championship defense right now. You have one of the best defenses I've seen covering Auburn. Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson are special players. The secondary plays out of its mind the way it tackles the one-on-one in space. I don't think people are giving those guys enough credit for how good they've been doing that, right?
Yeah.
Because they miss some of those tackles, and they're giving up big play after big play, and they just don't do it, hardly ever. So I just and you just have to wonder why the offense is just floundering. I know why, but it just boggles the mind. Why.
Say it.
It's because they've done such a poor job in recruiting on that side of the ball and developing. That's why.
Moving on to basketball. I don't know if you saw Bruce Pearl or heard Bruce Pearl. He was on Tiger Talk after Gus left, and it's probably better that it wasn't the other way around because Gus picking up after BP would be that'd be hard to listen to on the radio. Anyway, BP did mention that he has a Final Four ring and he doesn't wear it because he's been there, done that. That was a pretty boss move, I thought. And also, Andy asked him what his favorite Halloween candy was, and his answer was all.
That's a good answer. Although I'm just not into the coconut almond joy stuff, the mounds. And I saw some map that had Alabama as like milk duds.
Milk
I mean,
duds.
what stupid map is that?
Yeah, I've not seen a lot of milk
Nobody
duds
eats
around here.
milk duds.
Hell no.
Nobody even likes them.
I thought everybody
They're the
liked
candy
Snickers.
when you were a kid and you got all your Halloween candy and it comes like January, February and you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, right? That's the only time that you could possibly eat a milk dud.
I'm trying to think my least favorite mainstream Halloween candy. I probably like Raisinets. I got no interest in that.
Or what were those things that you chewed? They're fudge and you chewed them and they. You know
that sounds
horrible.
No, I don't know what that is. That sounds like a milk dud to me.
No. This is no. I'll think of it in a minute.
Dude, I went trick or treating in Louisville one time just because my parents' best friends were up there, and the first house we went to, because I wasn't in Louisville at the time, I was from San Diego, and the first house we go to, this chick grabs in a big bag and she pulls out rice. I mean, like uncooked rice, like just you'd find in a box, and just like drops it in our bag, like a fistful of it. Just like it was raining rice into my bag, and I'm thinking, is this what they do in Louisville? It got better.
Rolls. I never liked Tootsie Rolls. That's it.
Tootsie Rolls, yeah.
Yeah. All they do is get stuck up between your gum and teeth and stuff.
It's a good song, though.
It didn't really taste that good either.
Was it cotton candy?
Peanut butter and chocolate. Reese's on Halloween.
No, those are Reese's Cups are the best. Cotton candy, green and gold. Let me see that Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. You know that song?
Nope.
It's about the 69 Boys. Big hit from about 94. Sorry you weren't cool enough to know that one, B-Met. Hey, I want to mention the basketball team, King Bruce Pearl. They're going to have their first exhibition game tonight against Eckerd, which when I lived in Tulsa was the name of a pharmacy.
Yep.
I'm sure it's a fine school with fine students, but they're going to get crushed by the Auburn Tigers. The Final Four, qualifying Auburn Tigers. Can you give me like 30 seconds or less what you think about this game, B-Matt, what you're looking for tonight?
Well, I'm looking at Auburn, right? I want to see what type of player D'Angelo Purifoy is going to be. Is he going to be a guy that can pop the three and will also drive and dish and be that team player that Auburn can really use that playmaker like Chuma was at that 4 position, right? I want to see how the guards play. I want to see if Javon McCormick is going to take control of this team and be the leader that he needs to be, and I think he will be. I want to see what Austin Wiley looks like, banging inside. Does he dominate against a smaller,
team,
lower division team? And I want to see the newcomers. So I think there's a lot to see. To me, it's about Auburn tonight.
Looks like you've got some support in the chat from Tootsie Rolls. Not very popular among folks.
Yeah.
Looks like sour straws. Not people hate gummies. I hate gummies. My daughter was chewing on some gummies last night. Hold on a second. Wait. Did she cut those from Colorado? No, those Haribo ones. You know what I'm talking
about? Yeah, they just don't do much for me.
No, I don't like them. Okay, let's do some shout-outs, B-Matt. Why don't you want to go ahead or you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I've
got a few.
Let it rip, bro.
Henry TD20, post a thread titled, "Just bumped into Pete Carroll in the shower at the gym. He said he would love to coach at Auburn. He's just waiting on the call from Green." PL4AU asks, "Did you two bone?" Henry TD20 quickly replies, "Let's just say I was writing for the brand."
Oh, my goodness.
That's some good buckling right there, JJ.
That was a riff off of, was it Spread Attack?
I don't know.
Somebody started a thread about having met Urban Meyer yesterday.
Right.
And so
this is one of those things that just goes on
keeps
and on
going,
on the bunker, right? Yeah. But that was really quality bunkering there. And I got we've already kind of touched on this, but I got a real quick one. Mixer Fixer posted a thread titled, "Let's Talk B-Ball," which, hey, that seems like a good idea right now, right?
Sure.
Lewis 3A82 says, "We play an exhibition game against a pharmacy." Read over.
Yeah, so he knows about the pharmacy thing, yeah.
Right. We had an Eckerd's too in Doraville, Georgia, so I think Eckerd's were all over the place.
They're not anymore, are they?
Nope.
That's tough. All right, is it my turn?
Yes, your turn.
Well, I only have one, but there's a bunch of names in it. So I went to the Bunker Lunch in Bunkerham the other day.
Yep.
At the Soho Social, a place that I know you've been, B-Matt.
I love that place, yes.
Owned by at least one Bunker member, if not two, but certainly two Bunker enthusiasts. Dave and Taylor. I'm not breaking any covenants by saying their name. A great place to eat. I had myself a Caesar salad. I'm not trying to lamp or anything about that, but it was delicious. Had a little chicken there on the side and a brew. It's delicious.
Nice.
Everybody was really stoked about what they had to eat. If you're in Homewood, that seems like a great place to go. Some folks that I met for the first time, some bunker would-be legends. Warwick, Lupton, Overman, and Mikey. I think I met Mikey before, but Mikey looks a lot different. He's lost a whole lot of weight. Like, he's lost a person.
Good job, Mikey.
So good for him. And Overman, I've only met him once now and spent about 15 minutes with him, but he might be my favorite bunker. That guy is something else. I told him that if I ever write like a fiction novel, he's going to be a character in it because he's like your. I don't really want to break any covenants here, but he's just kind of like a. He'd be
Does
a
he work for the
perfect.
CIA?
Yeah, he's just kind of a. He seems like a villain. I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he would play a villain in my book. He's kind of like he's shortish and he's very careful with his wording, but he's stern and he wears like a long trench coat and he just looks like the kind of guy that you wouldn't like you could fight and you could whoop his ass, but like he'd get you in the end. You know what I mean? Like he'd find a way to undermine you. And you know, he would do the Scott Westerman thing to you if you're a South Park fan. I don't know if you guys remember that. Anyway, Overman, Mikey, Lupton, and Warwick are the first ones I met. Also there, but pick people I had already met before. Fishman72, R. Thomas, Tickledun. He wants to be Tickled One, but it's actually Tickledun. Stretch Armstrong, Bubby, Powerman, AU Taxman, Jeremy E., AU Tigers, Drew, Porter, and Aubrey. If I'm missing you, I'm sorry. Love all you guys. I feel like, no, Eagle 5 was there too. I feel like I'm missing a few, but it was a really good turnout, I thought. And, it's always awesome hanging out with the folks up there, and I'm always open to go to some bunker lunches if you guys are having them. I know I've been to one in Auburn. You've been to one in Auburn.
Yeah.
And
I'm open to them.
They do some in Mobile, too. I don't get down that way as much, but if my daughter goes to South, then I probably will be down that way more often. So word. Thank you all for making that a really fun time the other day. It was raining like hell, though. That kind of sucked. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. That's a wrap on our rundown today, B-Man. You did a hell of a job, in my opinion.
You did a hell of a job.
I would probably prefer you wear a different sweatshirt, but I understand why you're wearing that. It's cold outside.
Beautiful. Yeah. Top of the league, JG.
I know you've been really cool about not shoving that in my face because for those of you who are not into soccer, B-Mat's a Liverpool fan. They are an outstanding club at this moment. And my team is Manchester United, and they're terrible right now. And Brian really doesn't rub that in my face very often, and I appreciate that.
Well, it's been 30 years since Liverpool won the Premier League. So, well, they never won it since the top flight league. So it's hard to get too cocky about it, right?
Yeah, nobody wants to hear about your soccer stuff, B-Matt.
Yeah, I know.
If United was ahead, I'd be talking about it more. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening to our show. I want to give a shout-out before we go to our friends at Voodoo Wing Company. It's a great place to eat. It's a very clean place to eat, and I think if you go there, you're going to enjoy it, and I think you're going to want to go back because I'm wanting it right now. Also to our friends at Lynch Toyota of Auburn, if you're looking for a Toyota, a new or used Toyota, check them out. Just give them a chance to earn your business. They're in Auburn, just a little bit south of the interstate off of College Street, over there in the West Pace Auto Mall by the new courtyard, and kind of near where that water park used to be for you old school folks. Also to Amy B. Cotney and her website, sweethomeauburnal.com. She is an Auburn area realtor that buys and sells pretty much everything or helps you buy and sell everything from Lake Martin all the way to Auburn. Check her out if you are someone who is looking for new property in that area. She is a very enthusiastic and nice person, and she's supporting us these days. She's partnering with us on the Camera Eye, and we love Amy. So give her a chance to earn your business as well. B-Matt, you're the best. So we'll wrap it up there. Thank you for listening again. And, of course, shout out to all of our awesome subscribers. We just couldn't do this without you. Till we see you next time, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a 35-minute show, bro.
Right on target. Perfect.
Kelsey says, are you guys looking for more sponsors? The answer is yes. Yes. Not on this show, but for the other great things. And BMAT's Monday Musings, which is one of my favorite things to read every Monday morning. It's like a recap of what's been going on in the week, and then also like a mini essay about some musical act from usually 60s, 70s, 80s, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to mix it up. I throw in some country here, some hip hop. So I learned some myself. It's not
Hip
just
hop.
about artists that I like.
What do you know about hip hop? You don't even know where
That's what I'm saying. That's
you're
what I'm
trying to
saying.
learn. Okay.
I get to learn some more.
Yeah. I don't know much about hip hop now, but I was really into it in like '88. And you
And
listen to Run
I
DMC,
own like the Chronic. I own that album, that
obviously.
CD. I have it somewhere.
You had to
So
have
I
that
mean,
one.
I'm not totally out of touch.
I mean, did you have Raising Hell?
Uh-uh. I had the Eminem album and I had Chronic. I think that's the only two I had.
Hey, you didn't say
I didn't
Limp
have
Bizkit.
anything
So.
from NWA or anything like that.
Like, do you know who Eazy is?
Yeah, of course. I saw the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha.
And I did them. Didn't I do them in one of my Monday musings? I did NWA, didn't I?
I missed it, that one. I'm
Yeah.
ashamed to say that because I would have enjoyed reading it.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to go back and look at it right now as soon as we do this. Love the Cat says you love Criss Cross. They are from the Atlanta area, aren't they?
I don't.
I think they were. Well, I shouldn't say were. I mean, one of them
Atlanta
died.
Rhythm Section is from Atlanta, at Dorville,
They're
and
from
they were the
Dorville.
greatest 70s band of all time, of course.
They are the greatest 70s band of all time.
No, they weren't, but you know what I'm saying. Fleetwood Mac is the greatest.
I mean, I feel like I've told the story before, but I have kneeled at Eazy-E's grave to tell him how much he meant to me in my life. And I brought an Old English and laid it there, which is probably against the law. That's how much Eazy-E meant to me.
That was a tough ending for him. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, it was a tough ending. Of course, the guy's one of the greatest. He would have been one of the greatest producers in time.
Yeah. And when he passed away with AIDS was still a stigma,
Well, yeah, and not Ice Cube wasn't helping matters.
Right.
With the No Vaseline diss track.
Right. I mean, his friends turned against him in many ways.
Well,
and they probably just didn't understand or know better at the time. I don't know. I don't want to get into all
I would
that.
love to know what Ice Cube thinks about what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We have stopped taping, so we're not going to, ruin the show with all this chatter here, but we're going to probably wrap it up here. I do want to give a shout to our, let's see, Kelsey says, I have a business located in downtown Birmingham in the food hall. Who do I contact or sponsor information? Me, JG. Send me an email. If you're on the site, you can just DM me, but if you want to send me an email, it's jthehero. I've had it for a long time. jthehero@gmail.com. Send me something. All right. Be Matt. You be good.
Peace out, brother.
To all
Basketball
of our
tonight, I'll be there.
To all of our folks on the chat, appreciate you guys being here. I saw Dope Did That popped in. Brandon's up in here. Love the Cats. I can live without him. He's a goob. Who else we got? Phil was in here the whole way. Kowalski Jones was in here a while. Amy was in here. I think she's gone now. Scorpio, Fitzbeagle, somebody named Yvonne. I don't know. Yvonne says she throws all the kids' Tootsie Rolls in the trash. She must be with you on the Tootsie Roll thing, huh? How about that? Scorpio says that orange and black wrapper candy was horrible. See, everybody's with you on this.
Yeah. I know what they're talking about. The orange and black that came in plain wrappers. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I didn't know everybody hated Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, and licorice is the most nasty thing ever invented. I don't know how anybody put that in their mouth.
It's
terrible. Disgusting.
My wife's sister used to eat black licorice like she loved it, and it really it soured me on her because I mean obviously I think my wife's hot, so therefore I thought her sister was hot too, and but then she would eat that black licorice and I'd be like game over. I can't do that. All right, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Really for real, B Matt. Appreciate you guys. Y'all be good. Peace.